So you might see its attention governing people of Australia. It really is time to start putting in your questions. It really is, because this message, I'm wearing these because the other glasses are broken. They're too short on the nose. So what I want to say is, hands off Australia. Now, all of us know what that means. All the crazy things that are going on, the UN, the WEF and the WHO, and all the things happening in the government. Do you know councils can borrow money from, say, China, and if we don't release this, theoretically, which you wouldn't think they wouldn't be able to pay back the bills, but we're in so much strife with the amount of money that if it did happen and they're unable to pay it, the worst case scenario is they take people's land. That's more extreme. But the reason why I'm doing this is all of us need to start putting in questions. All 26 million or 20 million or 18 million, every single builder, every single plumber, every single chippy, every single barman, every single waitress, every single retiree, everybody needs to put questions into their council, their state and federal, and just ask them. Ask them. Ask them any question you want. All that does is put pressure on that person. Now, when you think about the last three years or 4 years and what happened in 2020, when you think about it, I never even sent a letter to my council. There might be 100,000, maybe 200,000 people actually sent letters to their council, state and or federal, for those reasons. Now those reasons aren't there, but everything else is. So put your letters in, because it puts pressure on them and it creates integrity. Thank you. It creates integrity on those positions that we keep, and those people who hold those positions, it puts pressure on them. Think about it. Think about you're a state minister. Instead of getting 5 or 10 questions, you're getting a couple of 100,000 or a couple of million this week for Australia Day, for 24/1, 241. Won't stand for any of that corporate nonsense. None of it. And you mustn't. Because right now, we need to be protecting our kids' future. And right now, everyone, including me, aren't doing a thing about it. So, first things first, questions. Second, answers. Third, the reply. But before that even happens, the pressure will be 2 million. 2 million questions, 20 million questions. So get your state, get your mates together. Let's put some questions together. What are you doing about pricing? What are you doing about life here? Why are we giving hundreds of billions of dollars or billions of dollars to Ukraine when everyone's suffering and paying nearly $10 for a nice gourmet piece of bread? Are you for real? If I don't do anything, and if you don't do anything, our kids' future are ruined, and it's ruined. It's going to get ruined now. I don't want my kids to say, "What did you do?" So this is the start of it. Where Radio Coast to Coast have been pushing questions, and now pushing and going to be teaching people about how best to put these questions in and what questions to ask. Imagine councils borrowing money and not spending it on the community. Imagine councils borrowing money or getting money from ratepayers and putting it away for the last 10 years. Bass Coast Shire Council, on their books, shows that they've got $609 million. That's an incorporation collecting money, not spending it as a utility to making sure that our society is number one. We're Australia. Okay? Don't stand up. Just write letters. Email. 50 words. And send that same one to your state, federal and city councils, to your state and to your federal government representatives. If everyone that day in Melbourne, and that's 700,000 people, if they only just, in hindsight, because I didn't know then, but in hindsight, if all of us wrote a letter saying, what do you think you're doing walking all over our Constitution? Now, one letter doesn't matter. 100, doesn't matter. Maybe it might. 100,000, let's start to listen. A couple of million, you'd be worried if you got a couple of million questions about your position that you were holding, right? Put yourself in their positions. What would happen? They've never had hundreds of thousands of questions. You've got to get it out there. You've got to share this. It is really important. It's our kids' future. If you don't do anything, if I don't do anything, it is our fault. Our kids' future is being destroyed, and none of us are doing enough about it. We need to care about that stranger. And don't think of the stranger as the old bloke. Think of the stranger as the child that knows no better. But you and I, all of us, do. And I pray the Lord, I ask that you all dig into yourselves, all into the good of what you think you stand for and what you think this country should be like. Questions are really important. Complaining isn't. Whinging isn't. If you're going to protest, you better have. Every one of those protesters better have. And when you think about it, we need to have questions to submit. Imagine that. Questions. Send it into them. Imagine if you're a Minister of Health and questions, and you get one question. Don't worry, no one's watching. You get 10 questions. Not really many people. There's 2 million people, 6 million people here. You get 100,000, and that's so much. That means so much more. That's like 10 million people. I'm putting mine in to cancel on the 21st of February because that's the very next community question time, which they're also trying to close off. So that's destroying our kids' future, our children's future, Aussie children of all sorts. Australia Day, I'm Italian, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of being Australian, and also proud that I know what's happened to the First Nations, and we should be celebrating in a way, celebrating that we know that. And then the questions can come in to cancel what's going on with the people who've had all the money given to them for the Indigenous and aren't sharing it out there. Because $44 billion, it is $44 billion, by the way. It is, I'll take you to court. $44 billion, mate. 860,000 First Nations. It's about $35,000 a year. You think they get that? Those sorts of questions. So the First Nations, why don't you go and, honestly, those representatives, those First Nation representatives in Parliament, and you know they've been bought, put questions on them, not anybody else, because they're the ones who are meant to do it for you. Think about it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let's ask the questions. Imagine if you're Bass Coast Health. Oh, it's not Bass Coast Health, excuse me, because they're lovely. They're under the pump too. And it's us as a community that needs to stand up, not them. They're just working, doing their job. So that's my point. Questions put integrity into those positions. It means that people are watching. And when people are watching and they know they're watching, then they can't get away with this sort of stuff. But the things they're getting away with are destroying our future. We can see it. How is it that two parents can work full time and still struggle? And they've nearly paid off a house. It's up to us, and I just hope this gets through to people, to all of us, including me. I'm looking at myself now. Put your letter in, organise it. Anyway, Sunday and most Fridays, Web Radio, Bass Coast, we're having a big update. Road safety, beach safety, and question time discussion. We need to get them out there, guys. Any questions? What? Anything? Why the sky's all funny? You know, where? Not one letter goes in there. It might be joined with maybe a couple hundred people. What are you doing with our money? Why aren't you spending? Why are you saving, putting money away, and not spending on the community for councils? And why is federal government giving all this money away when the whole of Australia is struggling like they've never struggled before? That's all I got to say. God bless you and thank you everyone who was listening. I just state, share it onto your wall and just put time to ask questions and keep the integrity. If you don't do it, we're letting down our own children. We're letting them down now. I'm letting them down now. No more questions. What are you doing with our money? What are you doing with our community? What in the world are you doing holding on to our money and not making our roads and our community and our facilities a lot better? Why is it, for instance, Phillip Island, 3.5 million people visit it. And there's a place here in South Australia. South Australia has about 1 million people. They've got more parks and better amenities than anybody, than Phillip Island has, and they've got 3.5 million people that visit it. And you know why they get away with it? And also, John Matthews said this from Phillip Island Voice. The reason why is because the people within the community aren't bothering to ask questions and don't realise you can't leave it up to anybody else, because nobody else is coming to do it for you. Not anymore. Well said, Adam. And I've met people who are 70 years old and they said, you know, Johnny, it's our fault. It's the 70-year-olds, because we knew this was happening, but we did nothing. Guess what? If you're next generation, it's our turn. I know you don't want to do it. I know. But you know, when we do it, it's done. Ex-Jed, time to stand up, put in those questions and get ready. It's war. God bless you. Love you all. Dear Lord, protect us all in this fight, because, mate, it's coming. And we're going to take it all the way. We're going to fight with you. God bless. No violence. Questions is our fight. God bless you. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this gets through. Share it to your wall. Good on you, Adam. Everyone at the footy. Oh, we should go to the footy and start taking over and just start, not taking over, just start saying, ask questions. Keep the integrity of your councils, state and federal representatives. God bless you. Thanks for your time. See you later.